Matt and Big Al present the Gamer Time Podcast.
McSorley from the goal line, slant, and there's Hamler, the speedy freshman. They'll never catch him. KJ Hamler, touchdown. Welcome to college football. Bryant. Oh! It counts at the foul. Serving up a facial on Jared Jackson. The power and the explosion of Kobe Bryant just takes off and accelerates the tremendous finish and lift.
The Lakers, because of this man, Kobe Bryant, can take over. Characterizes Dwight Howard. As Deshaun Stevenson looking for that pick, and Pat Garrity getting caught flat-footed there, trying to help out.
Here's another look from a different angle. This one right.
Second leading scorer. They need some help. Long run out by Kobe Bryant. Behind. Oh! What did I just see? You just saw what Kobe does best, and that's bring people to their feet. What's a sensational play.
Here we got a dribble drive, change of direction by Bryant. Slam dunk. Woo!
I think that's what the fans came to see. And you talk about elevation. Chick, he went up to the
Takes the double team to O'Neal. Horn, Fisher, nice rotation to Bryant.
buckle up for Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bryant just sucked the gravity out of the target center. What a play.
He might have just injured that shoulder a little bit more. The windmill slam.
You realize how difficult it is to do that.
That brought everybody out of their seat.
Is in issue. He's going to have to shoot it with three, with two. In trouble. Forced out. And Kobe making this ridiculous double head fake from behind the arc. And then out on its feet. Lakers down. In trouble. Quickly. Bryant. Three from the corner. Yes! Kobe!
Gonna go. This is silly stuff from Kobe.
I mean, just catching fire. And I mean, nothing but...
Saves yourself. And Blake gets it into Kobe. Kobe, good little fake. Three to tie.
Anybody. He fakes. They're there. He elevates. He scores.
Right-handed dribble. Gray comes out to double. Kobe around him. Kobe down the middle.
See? Stand in, get a blocking foul, get anything, but don't just give him a...
Lakers do not have any timeouts. The Heat in the penalty, so they can't foul. Wade is guarding Bryant. Artest looking, gets it to Bryant. Bryant dribbling, has to put it up with the buzzer. Backs it in! Oh! He backs in the three! And the Lakers win the game!
The only thing I said is Haslam should have stayed on it. But when you get beat on that, you just go to the locker room and say, I couldn't have done anything about it.
And he clearly got it off in time. What a tough shot, banking in the three. And the Lakers...
Payton. Bryant out top against Patterson. Kobe cannot get Patterson in the air. A wild three. Hit it.
And with one left, Kobe Bryant ties the ball game up as only Kobe Bryant can do. But that shot comes up under pressure. If he makes it, he makes it.
Payton to inbound. Bryant for three.
Theo Ratliff comes running out. It's a good shot.
No way this will...
From the old school kind of player that plays through things and makes no excuses.
And he's underneath.
That's why I think he's been going to the basket.
Go through Staples Center, as they have through his entire career.
With them.
A basket equals a 50-point game. Kobe underneath. He's got 51.
About him having a third lung because he never seemed to get tired.
Down the middle he goes. Corner of the key. He's got another one. Kobe with the ball and the Lakers down 4. Bryant on his way. It's a one-point game. Who has the ball? With half a minute to play. Bryant for the lead. Yes! Kobe Bryant gives the Lakers the lead.
another level. He's got 58. And the good news is the Lakers have a
By not being close to a man.
They'd love to get it into Nash's hands, and they do. Ball knocked away, stolen by Parker.
There it is.
Here comes George to Kobe Bryant. Bryant inside. It's good. It's good. Tie game.
Great deflection by Parker. Parker knocked that ball loose, and this is a miraculous shot.
A 1-point game. Walton can tip it. Bryant with the save.
Oh, you got to get a shot here.
Final seconds. Bryant for the win. Bang! You'll be still looking at it. They haven't made the official announcement yet. Oh, no question.
Oh,
I don't know what
close.
the delay is.
Yeah, not even close.
Hello, my friends. Welcome to the Gamer Time Podcast. We are back. We are here for your Super Bowl picks. We apologize we haven't kept up as far as the playoffs and some of the other weeks and things that we missed. We are here to give you our Super Bowl picks. We also have some very devastating news out of basketball world, out of Los Angeles, out of the entertainment industry in general. The whole world is kind of hurting right now. We appreciate you if you are listening at this point, which means you've listened to our 6-minute clip of Kobe Bryant's top 10 greatest shots, greatest moments, greatest plays, whatever you want to call it. Just some really good calls there by Mike Breen, Bob Costas, some of the great NBA commentators. But first of all, my name's Matt. We are here, of course, in person with Mr. Big Al Motion.
Hi everybody, how we doing? I am representing the purple and gold tonight in honor of that man, the man, Kobe Bryant. So we got a special on that for you. We're ready to get rolling.
All right. So the Gamer Time Podcast just wants to offer any type of condolence out there we can possibly towards anybody who's hurting right now. If you don't know already, around Sunday the 26th, I believe it was, Sunday morning, Mr. Kobe Bryant boarded a helicopter with his daughter, pictured as you can see there, his daughter right there, on their way to a basketball game for her, one of her AAU games or whatever. Kobe likes to use this mode of transportation for Los Angeles because it's Los Angeles. There's a crap ton of traffic, and he knows exactly what it's like. He's, huge profile, and he likes to use a helicopter because it's much quicker, understandably. The unfortunate part is that the helicopter came across some fog debris and went down. There were 9 people on board, including Kobe Bryant, his daughter, his daughter's 2 other teammates, one of her teammates' parents, both parents, another teammate's mom, another assistant coach, and I believe the pilot, all pronounced dead. Very unfortunate news. Heartbreaking for some. I can only imagine how Vanessa Bryant, Kobe's wife, feels to lose her husband, her daughter. So I just want to share kind of my input, I guess, on what Kobe Bryant meant to me. So I had the extreme lucky opportunity when I was around, I think I was like 8 or 9 years old. And my dad had taken me to a Philadelphia Sixers and Los Angeles Lakers basketball game. The unfortunate part was that my dad didn't, these were in the days before internet and before smartphones. So we could not, buy tickets. You could call and over the phone, but that's not something we did. And we got to the game and it was sold out. I was heartbroken. I was an 8-year-old kid. It sucked. Later on, I believe the next season, my dad really wanted to make it up to me, and he went above and beyond, and we flew from our home state of Pennsylvania all the way out to Salt Lake City, Utah, just to see a Los Angeles Lakers Utah Jazz basketball game. And we picked, I believe it was a Marriott or something like that as a hotel to stay for 2 days, 2 nights, and see the game and stuff like that. And it was a great time. And but the biggest thing was that we didn't know this when we got the hotel, but we were staying in the same hotel as the Los Angeles Lakers.
Oh man, that must have been awesome.
Yeah, it was. It was so cool to see Shaquille O'Neal come off of the bus. Kobe Bryant came off of the bus, and my dad. So this is like as soon as they got off the bus, they were bombarded with autographs. I got a picture standing next to him as he was taking autographs and things like that. And my dad had a great idea of saying, "Hey, follow me." So me and my dad walk over into the only spot for them to go up to their room, which is the elevators, and we were the first ones to the elevators, knowing that the players had to get to there to go up to their rooms. So it was a great thing because Kobe Bryant comes strolling up to the elevator, and my dad says, "Hey, Kobe, can we get a picture?" And I am sitting right next to my framed picture of when I was 8 or 9 years old of Kobe Bryant with his arm around me. It was one of the best moments of my life. It was so cool just to, these guys were idols to me, and it fueled my passion for basketball. So it's kind of where it all started. I was able to sit back and for the rest of his career watch him grow to be one of the best players of all time. In my opinion, top 10 at least. The greatest Laker of all time. Unfortunately, he retired after a very long career, but I say unfortunately because it's just you wanted more. You didn't want him to stop. He was so much fun to watch. He was so electrifying at times and things, and his highlights were so good, as you could hear as what we just played. And he went out and scored 60 points in his final game, which is just incredible at like 38 years old. So he retires, and one of the biggest things for me is that I loved him as a basketball player, and then over the next 4 years or so, I fell in love with him as a person. And just to see what kind of dad he is, to see how smart he was, to see how personable he was, because a lot of people said that they didn't really care for him as a basketball player because he was so in your face and so competitive, and he liked that bad guy role. He didn't mind being that because he was so good, he could back it up. And so when he retired and he didn't leave Los Angeles, he's raising a family there, and he raised his 4 little girls there, that he stayed in the limelight, and he stayed on TV going to do interviews. He was public speaking for professional football teams. He was he won an Oscar for a short film that was brilliant, and he was doing podcasts. He was writing short stories. He was so creative. He had his own businesses, and he even invested in a rip off of Gatorade. It was like some performance drink that ended up blowing up, and which got him like triple digit millions. So he knew, he was so smart, and he was just good, and he was such a great person outside of basketball. So it was hard for me when I found out what happened on Sunday, that he had passed and his daughter had passed, because she was the next in line, because he has got 4 girls, and 2 of them being 3 years old and an infant, so you don't know yet about them. But this one, who was 13 years old, was coming into her own as a basketball player. She was becoming she had that Mamba mentality that everybody loves about Kobe. And everybody said she had a great future ahead of her, and unfortunately that came to an end too. So it's just heartbreaking news to see so many people hurting over this, with his close friends like Shaquille O'Neal, Derek Fisher, Lamar Odom, Pau Gasol, some of the older ones like Mark Madsen, Brian Shaw, guys like that, players that he mentored across the league: Dwayne Wade, LeBron James, Chris Bosh, Carmelo Anthony, and other guys like Jay Williams from ESPN. Like, all these guys just hurting so much. And when I say hurt, nothing is even comparing to Vanessa. Like, I instantly thought of her and how hard that is to deal with and stuff. And so anybody out there, there's a couple of foundations and charities and things like that they are setting up as we speak for the other families involved in this. And some, the two parents, they had other children, so there's children that are now orphans, and it's just so freaking hard to deal with. And if you're listening to this tonight, this is Friday. We've had 5 days to kind of sit on this and take this all in. Tonight is the first game for the Lakers since this happened, so it's going to be a very emotional night for the Lakers and for LeBron James and all that stuff. So sorry, I went over long there, but the guy meant a lot to me, and it's unfortunate he's gone, and it's really unfortunate that he was a great father, and he can no longer be that. And unfortunately, his daughter is with him, but not in the way that you want, really. But I guess they're at peace and probably shooting hoops up there. So, yeah, Big Al.
Yeah, thank you, Matt.
Sorry.
Nah, it's cool, bro. But yeah, I think, as you said, obviously in the top 10 as far as on the court, type of player, and probably number one all around off the court. So I just remember, I think it was N64 or another system, something like that. There was an NBA game that was featuring Kobe Bryant. So I just, they name a basketball game after him. I mean, this guy's got to be good. So
right.
There's no one like him.
Yeah, it's incredibly sad, and I don't think that the Los Angeles is still beat up about it and still struggling with it. But this is a tough time for them, and a lot of people are saying LeBron's on a mission now. If he wasn't before, he's on one now, man. And watch out, because the Lakers have a great team this year, but I think this is only going to fuel the fire. So it sucks, and anybody who is remotely where I am about all of this, then they understand. If you're looking now, this is my all-time favorite picture of post-basketball Kobe. I don't know, it's just a great picture, him and his daughter. I saw another video today of Kobe sitting with his second youngest, which is the 3-year-old, and it was a while back. I want to say probably a year ago or so, but like him sitting there with flashcards and just trying to start her learning life and process and just teach her as much as he could. And he had this a flashcard of an elephant to learn the letter E, and he's goofing off and having fun with his daughter. You know what I mean? Like he knew he's a great dad, and he just knows how to just be a dad. and it almost like it came naturally. And he he put the card in his mouth, acting like it was a trunk, like an elephant, and he's going, acting like an elephant. And it was funny because he then gave it to his probably 2-year-old at the time, and she did the same thing. And it's just that's the type of stuff. I'm a father of a 2-year-old right now, and almost 3, but she's the best thing that ever happened to me. And so to lose that is just, it's heartbreaking. And I know those moments, I know those giggles and those just fun times. So it's like you don't trade that for anything in the world. And unfortunately for him, that came to an end. So it's just heartbreaking stuff. Everybody knows about his rough times too. Way back in 2003, he was arrested for rape, and long story short, there are some horrible details, and I'm not going to get into that. But long story short, she did not want to testify against Kobe Bryant, and she took a money settlement. So that is why Kobe Bryant was able to continue his career. And I don't know, you can, out there, everybody, you have your own speculations, you have your own opinions, you have all that stuff. I'm not going to get into detail about that. I'm not going to give you my opinions about it. All that I'm going to guess is that something bad happened. It kind of traumatized him on a marriage level because his wife was with him. On a just male to female interaction level, I think that messed him up. And there are 2 instances where he has messed up, and I have never known of someone to flip the script and not just apologize, but to completely change his entire life and completely change his way of thinking after the apology. Okay, so let's think of it this way: sexual assault, rape, or just regular cheating on his wife. Whatever it is he did, he turned that around to the point where he's got 4 daughters, where he is incredibly happy with raising daughters and no sons, where he just goes above and beyond to support them, goes above and beyond to be everywhere they are when it comes to anything they need from a dad. He died going to his daughter's basketball game. Okay? Another instance of this, of how he's able to flip the script like that, was in a game, I'm going to say 2013, maybe 14, somewhere around that range of seasons, where he went out there and called the ref a faggot because he was upset about a call. He not only apologized in public because of the discriminatory remarks, but he then turned around and worked with the community, the gay and lesbian community, and promoted different things and was instantly on their side going forward. And he was not afraid to admit when he was wrong. He was not afraid to do anything in his power to make sure he made up as much as possible for the wrongs that he did. So it was, to me, that stood out because he just seemed like a great person, because not a lot of people can do that. Not a lot of people, number one, admit when they're wrong, and number two, can devote the remainder of however long to bettering themselves in those aspects. So it was just, yeah. So he was an incredible guy. It's tragic news, and I'll miss him. I'll miss. Obviously, I missed when he was playing because I missed when he retired because I wanted him to keep playing selfishly. But I'm going to miss now seeing him be a great dad. I'm going to miss his work. as far as more short stories, podcasts, books, whatever he's going to do. I'm going to miss hearing his name. I'm going to miss the conversation. That was one of the biggest things that when I was beating myself up over this, that my wife had told me, you need to stay off of Twitter. You need to stop doing this to yourself. I had a hard time doing that because I didn't want to stop talking about him.
Understandable.
I didn't want to stop hearing his name. I didn't want to stop. So it was just very difficult. But yeah, so rest in peace, Mr. Bryant, and Gianna Bryant, and all the 7 others that lost their lives, and families dealing with that. So, yeah. Anything else? Bryant-wise.
Well, I just remember, when I was telling you about it, I was actually, at the time, it was Sunday afternoon, I was having tea and crumpets. and I just saw the notification pop up, and I believe I texted you about it, and you're like, dude, what the heck are you talking about? And I'm like, yeah, let me show you. So I had done that, and that's how we both found out. And it's ironic you're talking about Twitter, because both you and I got the pleasure of seeing his last tweet when he was tweeting about LeBron James beating the record.
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool that we both got to see that tweet the night before.
Yeah. It was a good moment. He was not a guy, especially post-career, he was not a guy to hold any grudges. He wasn't upset about anything, really. He was exuberant when his hometown Philadelphia Eagles won the Super Bowl a couple of years ago. He was a Philly guy as far as that goes for other sports, and if there's been any celebrity or person who is able to juggle 2 cities at once, as far as fandom and representation, it was Kobe Bryant being able to juggle Philadelphia, his hometown, and Los Angeles, his current home. So yeah. All right. Anyways, so rest in peace, Mr. Bryant. Rest in peace, Gianna, and the 7 others. So let's move on. As if you don't know by now, you're living under a rock. There is a huge game this weekend. It is the biggest game of the NFL season, and it is called the Super Bowl.
The Super Bowl.
The Super Bowl.
How many are we at so far?
What is this, 54?
I believe.
Yeah, this is Super Bowl 54 between the Kansas City Chiefs and the San Francisco 49ers.
Woo! I'm feeling the heat already, and I'm not talking about Miami.
Yeah, because the Super Bowl, if you don't know that either, is in Miami. So let's just kind of, before we dive into this, let's just kind of go through their playoffs, okay? So in the divisional round, because both teams were good enough to earn a bye week in the playoffs, so they didn't have to play until the divisional round. The Kansas City Chiefs were at home against the Houston Texans. Now, the Houston Texans were surprising me because they jumped out to a 24-0 lead.
Right.
I believe somewhere midway through the second quarter.
Yeah.
And I changed the channel, and I checked back about, 20 minutes later. Halftime. 24-21. What? So 3 touchdowns in like 7 minutes. Okay. And the Houston Texans were then only able to score 1 more touchdown the rest of the game, bringing their total to 31. Now, what did the Chiefs do? Oh, they only scored like 26 more points.
Wow. Man, I sorry to interrupt, but where's the defense in that?
Yeah,
led by J.J. Watt.
Yeah,
it
just didn't show up for from
how do you just
the second half at
how
all?
How do you just do get one half and then just blow up the next? I just don't get it.
So the Chiefs win 51-31 after trailing 24-0. Amazing. So on the other side, the San Francisco 49ers were at home against the Minnesota Vikings, and this was one of those games where it wasn't a huge blowout, but they seemed to have control throughout the game. The Vikings came off a very big win the week before against the New Orleans Saints, which was a huge upset, and then traveled into the 49ers and kind of just couldn't do what they did against the Saints. Yeah. And the 49ers ended up winning 27-10. So, what did you think about that game? Did you watch any of it?
I did see a little bit of it. I was kind of on the road, so I just kind of watched in and out. But
okay.
I was surprised because just coming off a high win like that, I expected more from the Vikings. But
right.
The Niners were well prepared and had a great game plan for the quarterback, and they just executed well, and they really showed their muscles and what they could do.
Yeah, so a week later, both teams advancing to the conference championship games. The Chiefs were going up against an extremely unlikely opponent, which was the Tennessee Titans. The Tennessee Titans had upset their way through the wild card and through the divisional rounds, with wins over the Patriots and wins over the Baltimore Ravens. So going up, if they would have had beaten the Chiefs, that means they would have beaten the three best teams, in my opinion, in the AFC.
Yeah.
And them themselves being the 6th seed of the playoffs is just extremely insane, in my opinion. The Chiefs ended up kind of another controlling game throughout, winning the game 35-24, and there was a little bit of a hiccup in the beginning because I believe Tennessee was up 10-0. Mm-hmm. But once again, Kansas City kind of put it on, got used to the game, and just took control throughout the rest of the game, and ended up, like I said, 35-24. So Kansas City's first trip back to the Super Bowl since, they said, exactly 50 years. So since Super Bowl III.
Right.
So on the other side, the San Francisco 49ers went up against the Green Bay Packers, and I believe the 49ers had jumped out to a big lead. I think it was like 3 touchdowns or something, maybe 20-0 or 21-0 or something. And the Packers started to score. I believe they scored their first touchdown at the beginning of the second half, scored another one or something, and then you started to think, okay, maybe they're going to make a game of this.
Right.
But
I was hoping for that.
Right.
Come on, it's the bad man Aaron Rodgers.
The bad man, right. So, unfortunately, they couldn't hang, and the 49ers were able to kind of put up a few more touchdowns and win that game 37-20. So, here we are at the Super Bowl. Chiefs and the 49ers. In my opinion, the biggest matchup of this game is going to be the Kansas City offense versus the San Francisco defense. Probably number 1 versus number 1 in those categories.
Yeah.
Number 1 offense versus number 1 defense. I think. I don't know. I think Baltimore probably had a better offense, but you know, Patrick Mahomes versus the crazy San Fran defense. How do you think that's going to play out?
Well, you know, when I saw that Richard Sherman was going from Seattle to San Francisco, I'm just like, you know, is he trying to start a whole new Legion of Boom in San Francisco now? Like you know, those guys know how to play on the outside. So I'm looking forward to those receiving matchups with some of like a Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, Mecole Hardman. Like, just how are they going to cover them?
Right.
So I think that the defensive line will put pressure on Mahomes to, you know, scramble out of the pocket, and we all know he's good out of the pocket. He can throw on the run, so but I think he's going to have success against them. I do. I think it won't start out good early, but middle of the game to the end of the game, they put up enough points on that defense.
Okay. Okay, so let's flip the ball. Okay? San Francisco offense versus the Kansas City defense.
Okay.
Okay, so I was extremely surprised. Like I said, San Francisco beat Green Bay 37-20, a 17-point win. Okay? If I told you that Jimmy Garoppolo could score 37 points in that offense and throw it less than 10 times, what would you say?
I'd say they must have done it all on the run.
That's exactly what they did. Jimmy, this is amazing. I'm sorry, this is amazing to me. In today's NFL, your quarterback has 6 completions out of 8 attempts for the entire game.
He only threw the ball 8 times.
8 times.
The whole game?
Only completed 6 of them. 6 completions for 77 yards.
Man, he can't even get 100.
No. That's it.
Jeez.
Raheem Mostert, whatever you want to call him, ran the ball 29 times for 220 yards and 4 touchdowns. If that wasn't a breakout game, then I don't know what else he can do.
Now, that's called establishing the run.
Right.
Holy crap, folks.
Exactly. So let's look at this. 29 carries, 220 yards. Samuel had 2 carries for 43 yards, which is huge chunks. 21.5 yards a carry. Coleman, 6 attempts for 21 yards. Breida, 1 attempt for 2 yards. And then Garoppolo, 4 attempts for -1 yards. So you got a total of 31, 37, 38, 40, 42 rushing attempts. Okay? For a total of 285 yards. Okay, 42 attempts, 6 attempts passing. That's 50 plays on offense.
Right.
Okay? Do you think that the 49ers will get 50 plays on offense in this game, in the Super Bowl? Because if Kansas City's offense can control the possession, I'm going to say, hell no. Okay. So, I'll break layman's terms. Who's going to control the time of possession?
Well,
because in my opinion, that's going to tell you the winner.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm going to say Kansas City,
Okay.
but if the Niners do what they just did and feed that monster, Mustard, whatever his name is,
Raheem Mostert, I think.
That guy, if he has that type of game,
yeah,
and they're running the ball, they're not even throwing at all with Jimmy G, and they're still putting up that, then I'd say the Niners will maintain that if they do what they did last week. And I heard, the Kansas City's defense against the run is not that great. So that would be interesting to see how they can stop this guy. Mm-hmm. But if they do have a game like that, I'd say the Niners, but I think somehow Kansas City will overcome that.
Okay, yeah. So, like I said, 6 out of 8 passing for Garoppolo. So when that happens, that also means that your receivers aren't really in the game. Right?
Right.
They're not getting too many, unless you're running option runs or whatever, where they can, run out of the backfield, and then okay. But you've got 2 receptions for Samuel, 1 catch for probably the best tight end in football, George Kittle, 1 catch, okay, for 19 yards, 1 catch for Bourne, and 2 catches for Mostert. That's it. Okay, so. In my opinion, if they had the same amount of run plays and pass plays in the Super Bowl, they're not doing good at all. I don't think they can duplicate that, in other words.
Right.
If they duplicate 42 runs and 8 passes, I don't like that. I don't think that's a winning formula.
Right.
That sounds like I'm downplaying the skill of the Green Bay Packers, but hey, that, in other words, that San Francisco defense was amazing against them. But we're also talking about Patrick Mahomes.
Right.
Okay, if Patrick Mahomes can, do his normal improvisation, I think it's going to be a whole different story. So I think that if Mahomes can kind of run around and extend plays and do things like that, I think this is going to be, I don't think it's going to be a blowout, but I do think that they will be able to control the outcome of this game. So how about we make predictions then?
Sure.
Okay. Let's do a bunch of different categories, and then we'll do the score, and we'll make our picks.
All right.
Okay. Prediction number 1. Okay.
Fire away.
Over under 3.5 Doritos commercials.
Over under. Ooh.
So 3 or less, or 4 or more. Which is Doritos. Yeah.
Well, it's calculating the amount of flavors you have. I'll go. Yeah, give me 3 or less.
3 or less. Okay. Doritos. See, that's what I was saying. Okay. How about over under 4.5 Bud commercials? So this is counting the Budweiser with the Clydesdales, and this is also counting the Bud Light commercials with the Night. You remember Dilly Dilly? All that good stuff.
4 or more.
4.5.
4.5.
Yeah.
I'll go more.
So 5 or more.
5 or more.
Okay. Yeah. I had asked a coworker about this. That exact question. He said he's gonna what he's gonna see about that is you're gonna see one commercial, and then you're gonna see another one where it plays off the first one. So you're gonna have like a story in a couple of commercials. So that's why he picked the over too.
Okay.
So yeah. Okay. So all right. Here's a big one. Heads or tails?
Oh, tails never fails.
You think the coin toss will be tails?
Yeah, I'm going tails.
Okay. All right.
Never fails.
How long do you think halftime will be?
Well, usually in a regular game, it's 15 minutes?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
15, 20 minutes.
15, 20 minutes. I'm going to say close to about half an hour.
That's it?
Well,
because I think in the past it's gotten close to 45.
Okay.
I think.
I think maybe they want to shorten it up, so they're still gonna do their songs, J-Lo, D-Lo, whatever. All those girls,
Just want to let everybody know this is gonna be one of the sexiest halftime performances in history. Jennifer Lopez and Shakira are gonna be going at it on this one. Anyway.
So, yeah, I'm gonna stick to a half hour.
Okay, half hour. Okay, let's see what else. I heard that. Okay, tell me. Why don't you tell me the jerseys? What jerseys are they wearing? What colors? Kansas City white or Kansas City red?
And Kansas City was known as the home team, so I'm gonna go red.
You're gonna go red?
Yeah.
So is that San Fran black or San Fran white?
Go San Fran white.
San Fran white. Okay.
I mean, it'd be cool to see a black-red combination, but
right.
I think they go the way.
This is a rumor of mine that I think I saw on Twitter or something, but we'll see what you think. I also heard that they were trying for the San Fran white ones from the mid-90s, where they had the drop shadow behind the number, looking sexy, right? You think they could pull out throwbacks for the Super Bowl? I don't think that's ever happened before.
No.
I don't think they've done throwbacks for a Super Bowl.
I don't think it's against the rules or anything, so I think they can pull it off if they really wanted to.
Right. I think that would be awesome.
Yeah.
Although, did you watch Media Day?
No.
Because I haven't seen any clips from Media Day. And apparently, well, they used to, they wear the jerseys with no pads on media day, and they've got the logo, the Super Bowl logo patch on there, and all that stuff. Now I think last year they started the whole indoor thing with the Patriots and the Rams, and I think they were wearing like warm-up jumpsuits or something like that. It was one of the first years I think they didn't wear the jerseys.
Okay.
So I'm not sure what happened. I'd have to look it up, but I think that would be a dead giveaway if they did wear jerseys. But okay, so what else? I'm not sure who the sponsors are, so maybe I'm not sure about any more commercials. Oh, one more. Over under, I believe 5.5 movie trailers.
Give me more.
More?
Yeah, I think, you know.
There's going to be 6 or more?
Yeah, I mean, I believe that there's always movies coming out, and
right.
The biggest spot to give that preview is, you know, getting commercials in the Super Bowl when everyone's watching. So
exactly,
I go more.
All right, cool. Okay, so let's get into the game then. Let's do over under 150 passing yards for Jimmy Garoppolo.
Over under
150. All right, let's do 150 and a half. That way he can't get 150 and we're sitting here like, you know what I mean?
Well, so, I'd say he gets over 150.
Over 150. Okay.
Yeah.
Over under 2.5 touchdowns. No, 1.5.
I'd say 2.
2. So over.
Yeah.
Okay. Over under 120.5 rushing yards for Mossert, whatever you want to call it.
120.
120. Which, in my opinion, if you get 220 in the conference championship game and follow it up with 120 in the Super Bowl, you need to pay that man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I know I said Kansas City's defense against the run is not that good, but considering what they saw in that game, I think they will find a way to slow him down and make Jimmy G beat him. So I'm going to say less than 120.
Okay. All right. Over under 1.5 rushing touchdowns for him.
Jimmy G throws 2. He might get the other 2. I don't know. I'm gonna go 1.
You're gonna go 1. So
I'm gonna go 1 touchdown.
Okay. All right. Over under half 0.5 a rushing touchdown for Patrick Mahomes. Does he get one or not?
Rushing touchdown.
Rushing touchdown. This is a toughie.
Because I know that, like I said, I think that defense is going to make him throw. But if they get close enough to the goal line, I think they have call up a play to rush him in. So I'll give him 1.
Give him 1. Okay. All right. Over under 325.5
passing yards.
Passing yards for Mahomes.
Ooh, I mean, that defense, man.
Yeah.
The Niners is scary.
Yeah.
Still think he gets it. I'm going to go right on the money of 325.
Right on. So that's under.
Under.
Okay. Over under 0.5. Again, either he does it or doesn't do it. A 50-yard touchdown catch for Hill. Tyreek Hill. 50 yards or more. Does he do it or does he not?
No.
No.
No, I mean, they'll get some big plays, but not 50 yards.
No? Okay. And I'll finish it up with over under 4.5 sacks for San Francisco.
4.5.
4.5 sacks. You think they get to 5?
Well, let's calculate. Their ability to get to the quarterback is tremendous.
They're the best. Now, Mahomes is also elusive.
That's what I was going to bring up next, Matt. He can get out of the pocket. Right. He can scramble. He's very smart with the ball. I think early they get 2. I'll go under at 4. I'll stick at 4.
Okay. All right. Okay. Biggest question of all. Give me a score. Who's your champion?
Well, considering they struggled early against Tennessee, and it's just, I know they battled back, but they had to battle back with Houston.
Right.
So they're this battle back type of team right now, and the way the Niners looked against Mr. Aaron Rodgers surprised me. Very much surprised me.
Yeah.
If they get off to that kind of start, I don't know if Kansas City would have enough, but I think this would be a little different of a game, and I'm going to say 27-24, Kansas City finally holds the Lombardi Trophy again, but this time under Andy Reid and that man they call Shady McCoy from Harrisburg.
Shady McCoy from Harrisburg, Bishop McDevitt. All right.
Boom.
I am going to almost agree with you. I am going to go 28-17 Kansas City.
Okay.
I agree. I think that Patrick Mahomes, yes. See, the part that I would disagree with is not just the score. It is if Patrick Mahomes gets down by 2 touchdowns or more, I don't like that. I just think, I know he pulled it off against Houston and a little bit like against Tennessee as well, but I think that the San Francisco defense is going to be, especially if you're down already, they're going to be playing with their ears pinned back. They're going to be flying around. And I think that's going to be extremely tough if you're down 2 touchdowns to score points against that defense. So I think that if San Fran jumps up 2 touchdowns, San Fran's going to win. I don't think Kansas City's going to pull out another comeback against this team.
Right.
But I don't think that's going to happen. I think that Kansas City is going to be able to score somewhat quickly. If I had to pinpoint, I'm going to say somewhat in maybe 10 points in the first quarter, something like that. I think they're going to make it a point to come out of the gates fast, and they're going to try and jump on this defense as best as they can.
Right.
Because they know that they're going to have a hard time against them.
Right, and I just think that if you're the Niners defense, you're playing so well that it's just like when you look at that Kansas City offense, it's like, which player do you want to double team? You can't,
right?
Because you got Kelsey to worry about. Oh, let's double team Kelsey, leave Mecole Hardman wide open.
Right.
Oh, let me double team Mecole Hardman. Wait, we got really about Tyreek Hill.
Yep.
And then we forgot about the 3 running-eyed monsters in the running backs.
Yeah.
So they're going to be tough to stop.
You could cover 10 people, and then Pat Mahomes is going to rush for 10 yards and pick up the first down. It's going to annoy the crap out of you. So, yeah, this offense is insane, and I agree with you. I don't think they're going to break any records, but I think they're going to do enough, and I think that they're going to. San Fran's going to give them a slight battle, but in my opinion, I'm going to put it at 28-17. So, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Your Super Bowl champion, as predicted by the Gamer Time podcast, is the Kansas City Chiefs. All right. So, I want to thank everybody for listening into this extremely special episode. We would like to continue this going, the podcast. If anybody had listened to episodes 1 through, how many did we do? Like 1 through 6 or 7. you listen to different varieties of topics before the football season started. So we turned it into our cold hard locks for the football season, and we kind of had a set thing to talk about. So going forward, we will be jumping back and forth between multiple sports like hockey and basketball, and then spring training's coming up in about a month and a half or so. We'll give little tidbits on that, and maybe even some more video game news. What have you been playing, real quick?
I honestly, since this whole COVID thing, it's been basketball.
Okay.
Starting a new season with them, and just building from there.
Okay, yeah. I've been on a little non-sports kick lately for video games, but I agree with you. I'm getting that basketball fever. It's starting to come on, so I might be jumping into 2K pretty soon and starting up some franchises and whatnot. So,
and folks, this is something we didn't do last year that maybe there's a ton of wrestling fans out there, so I know in less than 70 days the biggest event of the year in pro wrestling, WrestleMania, is coming to Tampa Bay at Raymond James Stadium in Tampa, Florida.
Yep.
And maybe we'll give you a little match card preview on that, but we just look forward to more topics and start moving on from there.
Yeah, that's a great idea, and we can do predictions for matches and whatnot. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you. I appreciate you guys listening to our sob story on the one and only Kobe Bryant and his daughter and everyone else affected on the horrible incident this past Sunday. And we appreciate you tuning in for our Super Bowl picks, every pick, from coin toss to over-unders to all different types of stuff. So I thank you for listening. This is our special Super Bowl episode of the Gamer Time podcast. If you have any show ideas, please email me, gamertimeshows@gmail.com. This is the YouTube page. You can comment, subscribe, like, whatever the heck you want to do on YouTube. You can even find us on Twitter at GamerTimeShows. Any ideas, please email, feel free. Same thing with some advertisements. If anybody's looking to advertise a product, we will be happy to oblige. Just email me, gamertimeshows@gmail.com. So for me, I thank everybody for listening. For Mr. Mochis.
Agreed, Matt. Thank you for staying with us. We were back, and we are so ready to do this episode, and we look forward to doing more. So, from all of us here at Matthew's Basement, farewell to all the fans. Stay tuned. We're gonna do more, and farewell, Kobe Black Mamba Bryant.
Yes, sir.